They told you the keto diet was the ultimate solution. Fast weight loss, stable blood sugar, and even sharper mental focus. But what happens when you follow it not just for a few weeks, but for months or even years? What if this miracle diet is quietly disrupting your hormones, harming your gut, and increasing your long-term health risks, without you even noticing? Welcome back, friends. Here we dive deep into the latest science on health, nutrition, and lifestyle, challenging the trends, not just following them. Today's video might challenge what you believe about one of the most popular diets in the world, the ketogenic diet. Let's talk about what new research is starting to uncover about the long-term effects of keto, and whether it's actually safe to stay in ketosis for extended periods of time. First, let's go back to where keto started. This isn't a fad that came out of nowhere. The ketogenic diet was originally developed in the 1920s as a clinical intervention for children with drug-resistant epilepsy. Doctors discovered that switching the body's energy source from glucose to ketones had a powerful effect on brain chemistry. In a standard ketogenic diet, carbohydrates are reduced to about 5–10% of total calories, fat makes up about 70–80%, and protein covers the rest. This drastic change in macronutrient distribution pushes the body into a metabolic state called ketosis, where it burns fat instead of glucose for fuel. And yes, in the short term, many people experience significant benefits. Rapid weight loss, improved insulin sensitivity, stable blood sugar, and even mental clarity. But short-term results don't always tell us what's happening under the surface in the long run. In the last few years, studies have started to examine what happens when people stay on keto for extended periods, 12 months, 18 months, even longer. And the findings are complicated. One study published in Current Nutrition Reports in 2024 followed a group of adults on strict keto for over a year. The researchers found a significant increase in LDL cholesterol, particularly the small, dense LDL particles that are most strongly linked to heart disease. Another issue: inflammation markers were slightly elevated compared to a control group, especially in participants who consumed large amounts of saturated fats from animal sources like butter, bacon, and cheese. But cholesterol isn't the only concern. Research from Stanford University in 2023 highlighted another potential downside: a decline in gut microbiota diversity. In the study, participants who followed a very low-carb, high-fat diet for 8 months showed reductions in beneficial gut bacteria species, including those that produce short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, compounds that are essential for gut lining integrity, immune health, and even mood regulation. Why does this matter? Because an imbalanced gut can affect far more than digestion. It's now well established that the gut microbiome is closely linked to the brain, the immune system, and even hormone production. A reduction in microbial diversity has been linked to mood disorders like anxiety and depression, increased systemic inflammation, and greater susceptibility to chronic disease. Let's also talk about nutrient deficiencies. By removing or severely limiting fruits, legumes, and whole grains, the standard keto diet can make it difficult to get adequate fiber, vitamin C, magnesium, and B vitamins, especially folate and B6. Over time, this can contribute to fatigue, brain fog, muscle cramps, and reduced detoxification capacity. And for women in particular, long-term keto may have even more complex effects. Several small clinical reports and observational studies have shown that prolonged ketosis may disrupt reproductive hormones. Some women report missed periods, hair loss, reduced thyroid function, and increased anxiety. This may be due in part to the way very low-carb diets impact the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal (HPA) axis and reduce the availability of carbohydrates needed for proper hormone synthesis and neurotransmitter production. If you relate to this topic or are learning something new, now's a great time to give this video a thumbs up and tell us how helpful it is. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on upcoming tips and insights, and share it with a friend or loved one who's also exploring the keto lifestyle. It might be just the information they need. Your support truly helps this channel grow and helps us keep bringing you science-backed, thought-provoking content every week. Thanks for being here. Now back to it, because the big question is who actually benefits from keto and who might be harmed by it. Therapeutically, keto can be incredibly effective for certain conditions, like epilepsy, type 2 diabetes, PCOS, and even some forms of cancer when used under medical supervision. But for the general population, especially those doing it on their own with no testing, no nutrient tracking, and often relying on ultra-processed keto products filled with artificial sweeteners and seed oils, the story is very different. Many people who adopt keto for weight loss don't realize it's a therapeutic intervention, not a sustainable lifestyle for everyone. And when the body doesn't get the carbohydrates it needs over time, especially for individuals with high stress, active lifestyles, or thyroid imbalances, the system can become dysregulated. That's why some functional medicine experts now suggest more flexible approaches. Options like cyclical keto, where periods of ketosis are alternated with days of higher carb intake, or targeted keto, where carbs are consumed around workouts, may offer the benefits without the burnout. Others promote anti-inflammatory diets that include whole food carbohydrates like quinoa, sweet potatoes, and fruit, focusing on food quality over macronutrient extremes. And the most important shift of all, moving away from one-size-fits-all diets. Just because something worked for your friend, your favorite influencer, or even your doctor, doesn't mean it's right for you. Personalized nutrition, based on your labs, your lifestyle, your hormones, your gut. That's where real health happens. So, is the keto diet dangerous in the long run? Not necessarily, but it's also not as harmless as many people think. It's powerful, and like anything powerful, it should be used with care, with context, and ideally, with professional guidance. What do you think? Have you tried keto? Did it help you or hurt you? Would you consider a more flexible approach, or are you convinced keto is the answer? I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. This is a conversation we all need to have more openly. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be deep into keto and wondering if it's time for a change. Thanks for being part of this growing community, where we don't follow the hype, we challenge it.